from the Grand Rapids Senior High Gym. Tonight it's boys basketball here on the Camtech Video Network as the Bemidji Lumberjacks are in town to take on the Grand Rapids Indians in boys basketball. My name is Tom Shadeen. With me again tonight, our technicians Lee Fromm and Rick Moen. This will be our last regular season broadcast of winter sports here on the Camtech Video Network. Again, we'll have a few things going on in the spring for you, but our last regular broadcast of the winter sports. Tonight it'll be Grand Rapids with a record of 12-5. The Indians are 7-1 in the Iron Range Conference. Grand Rapids' only defeat in the Iron Range Conference coming to the Hibbing Blue Jackets. And of course, Grand Rapids and Hibbing have split the two games they have played. Grand Rapids still with a chance to win that Iron Range Conference basketball championship. This next week on the 27th of February, they will be taking on the Chisholm Blue Streaks over at Chisholm. And of course, Chisholm so far has not lost in the Iron Range Conference. So the championship will come down to that game next week between Grand Rapids and the Chisholm Blue Streaks. Grand Rapids and Bemidji have met once before this year, back on January 3rd, just coming back off from the Christmas holidays. Grand Rapids traveled to Bemidji, and they lost 85-73 to the Bemidji Lumberjacks up in Bemidji. In that contest for Grand Rapids, 6'7" center Mike Drzenovich led the scoring with 18 points for the Indians. 6'1" guard Mark Engesser had 15. 6'3" forward Andy Miltich had 12. Aaron Osborne had 11. Jamie Gilbert with 7. Corey Engstrom with 4. Jeff Erickson with 3. Tom Godfrey with 2. And Darren Cook with 1 for Grand Rapids. One thing you have to look at for Bemidji, they have a lot of height. In that first game against Grand Rapids, 6'4" forward Nate Hancock had 32 points for the Bemidji Lumberjacks. 6'4" forward Joe Burgess had 23 in that contest. At the guard spot, Aaron Tank had 8. Jack Hurd with 4. Tony Newby with 4. Center Jamie Kester with 5. Jason Karen, 6'5", off from the bench, had 3 points. Chris Montbryan had 2. Eric Christensen with 2. Tracy Knudsen with 2. And Andy Brown with 1. So as we said, Grand Rapids lost 85-73 to Bemidji. Up at Bemidji back on January 3rd. The Indians are hoping for a comeback of sorts tonight. As we said, Grand Rapids with the better record. The Indians have a record of 12-5. Bemidji only 8-7 coming into this game tonight. But in talking with some of the Bemidji players a little bit earlier, they were saying that they've had a very up and down season. But again, with the height they have, they do have a strong capability of playing good basketball. And we're looking for a wild one here tonight. As you can hear in the background, we have the Grand Rapids band. We also have the pom-pom girls for Grand Rapids and the cheerleaders. A lot of people on hand tonight, as this is the only thing going on tonight in Grand Rapids as far as sporting action, other than the girls' gymnastics, which is going on down at the middle school. These two things are the only two things that are going on tonight, and a good crowd at both here in Grand Rapids. We'll be back with the starting lineup for tonight's game right after these messages. Back here at the Grand Rapids Senior High Gym, both teams, the starting lineups being announced. For the Indians at the guards will be Jamie Gilbert and Mark Engesser. At center will be Mike Drzenovich, and at the forwards, Jeff Erickson and Andy Miltich. For Bemidji at the guards, Chris Montbryan. And at the other guard, Tony Newby. At the forwards, Nate Hancock and Nate Hancock and Joe Burgess. The center, Tony Newby. Our national anthem. Let's get that starting lineup again for Bemidji. As we said, at the guard will be Chris Montbryant. He'll be wearing number 13. At the other guard spot will be Tony Newby, wearing number 54. He's 6'2". At the forward, Joe Burgess, 6'4". Burgess averaging 18 points a game for Bemidji. At the other forward spot will be Nate Hancock. Hancock is the leading scorer for Bemidji. He's averaging 23 points a game. The center will be Jamie Kester. Kester, 6'5", for Bemidji. And here's our starting jump. Drzenovich wins the jump for Grand Rapids over on the left side to Erickson. Back at the guard spot to Jamie Gilbert at the free throw line to Drzenovich. A turnaround jump shot from Miltich, and Miltich scores from inside the lane. So Andy Miltich with the first points of the game here for Grand Rapids. Miltich, a 6'3" senior for the Indians. With the basketball for Bemidji is Joe Burgess. At the baseline, putting it up from about 12 and missing is Jamie Kester. Rapids clears the boards. With the basketball is Anguser. Anguser down the right side for Grand Rapids. Dribbles it between his legs at the free throw line to Drzenovich. Drzenovich puts it up from the free throw line and scores for Grand Rapids. Rapids with a quick 4-0 lead, starting the ball game off. Driving on the right side for Bemidji is Tony Newby. Drops it into the corner now. Here's a shot from right near the three-point line by Joe Burgess. No good. Bemidji clears the boards. With it for the Lumberjack is Nate Hancock. Back out to the guard spot to Tony Newby. Driving on the right side, putting up a jump shot and scoring from about 15 is Hancock. 4-2, Grand Rapids leading it. Just over a minute into the ball game here at the Grand Rapids Senior High Gym. Turnaround jump shot from Drzenovich. High off the glass, no good. The rebound to Andy Miltich. Miltich dishes it off to Erickson. Erickson misses, no good. The rebound, clearing the boards for Bemidji, is Joe Burgess. Burgess comes across the half-court mark for Bemidji. Drops it off inside now. A turnaround jump shot for Bemidji. Missing is Nate Hancock. Rapids clears the board. With the rebound was Jeff Erickson. Erickson heads back the other way. Dishes it off to Jamie Gilbert. A three-point attempt, no good, off the front of the rim. On the rebound for Bemidji is Jamie Kester. Kester drops the ball back to Tony Newby. Newby looking to drive is cut off there by Gilbert. He gets it inside. Little dipsy-doodle layup here by Joe Burgess, and Burgess scores. 4-4, Rapids and Bemidji. We just started. Here's a three-point effort, just a little bit short for Drzenovich. I guess he had 1 foot inside the three-point line. No good anyway. Clearing the boards for Bemidji is Nate Hancock. Back to Tony Newby. Rapids knocks the ball away. Miltich got his hand in there. Move it inside to Kester. Kester scores. Jamie Kester with his first 2 points of the game for Bemidji. Kester, 6'5" center, gives the Lumberjacks a 2-point lead. Free throw line. Fake shot there, getting it off now in the corner to Anguser. Anguser back to Gilbert into Miltich. Miltich drives the lane and scores for Grand Rapids. 6'3", Andy Miltich drives the lane, his second basket of the game. Grand Rapids ties it up at 6-6. Tony Newby for the Lumberjacks. Into the corner to Nate Hancock. The other side, driving the lane, putting it up, and missing the shot was Chris Montbryant, but Montbryant is fouled on the play. Looks like it's going to be Jeff Erickson picking up the foul. End-to-end action here starting off this ball game. As we said, these two teams have played before. Grand Rapids lost up at Bemidji by a score of 85-73, and they would like revenge here tonight. At the free throw line is Montbryant. Makes the first shot for Bemidji. Chris Montbryant, a 5'9" senior guard for the Lumberjacks. Gives his team a 1-point lead. Second free throw is also good for Montbryant. 8-6 Bemidji. Rapids with the basketball. Erickson drops it off to Anguser. Back to Gilbert. Inside now to Miltich. Miltich puts it up from about 12. Rolls around, no good. Clearing the boards for Bemidji is Tony Newby. Newby on the dribble. Moves it up on the left-hand side to Nate Hancock. Hancock puts it up from about 15. He misses. Clearing the boards is Drzenovich. Gets it off to Gilbert. A bounce pass to Erickson. Erickson stops near the baseline. Puts it up, no good. Rebound off from the hands of Miltich. Back to Erickson. Erickson from about 12. Erickson scores for Grand Rapids. First 2 points of the ball game for Jeff Erickson. We're knotted up again at 8-8. Bemidji with the basketball. Tony Newby at the free throw line. Joe Burgess. Burgess cans it from the free throw line for Bemidji. Second basket of the game for 6'4" guard Joe Burgess. Inside to Miltich for Grand Rapids. He pumps once, puts it up, and scores for the Indians. 6 points on the evening now for Andy Miltich. Again, it's tied up at 10-10. A good basketball game, a big crowd here at the Grand Rapids Senior High Gym. Glad you could be with us tonight on the Camtech Video Network. In the corner for Bemidji is Joe Burgess. Burgess moves it inside now to Jamie Kester. Back to three-point land. Here's a shot from the free throw line. Rolls around, no good by Tony Newby, but Newby is fouled on the play. Foul will be on Jamie Gilbert of Grand Rapids. That's his first personal. Substitution for Bemidji. Number 32, Eric Christensen coming into the ball game. Christensen, a 6'2 senior forward. He'll replace Joe Burgess in the lineup. First free throw is no good here by Tony Newby. Newby, a 6'2 junior guard for Bemidji. Second free throw. This one's good. Bemidji 11, Grand Rapids 10. 3 minutes, 45 seconds to go. First quarter of play from the Grand Rapids Senior High Gym. Jamie Gilbert with the basketball for Grand Rapids. Gets it into Drzenovich. Drzenovich out the baseline, puts it up from about 15 and scores. Second basket of the game for Mike Drzenovich. Gives the Indians a 12-11 lead as we're seesawing back and forth here in a good basketball game. Tony Newby moves it in now to Nate Hancock. Hancock at the baseline. Dumps it back outside for Newby. Newby puts it up off the rim, no good. Clearing the boards for Grand Rapids is Engesser. Mark Engesser dribbling the ball at half court. Here he comes. He's at the free throw line. He puts it up for Grand Rapids. No good. The rebound for Bemidji to Tony Newby. Newby clears himself in traffic, dribbles down over the half-court marker. Up at the top of the key. Moves it off on the right side to Eric Christensen at the baseline now. Here's a turnaround jump shot by Nate Hancock. That's no good. Gilbert on the rebound. Moves it down to Miltich in the corner. Back to Engesser. Three-point shot from Engesser. No good off the front of the rim. Here comes Bemidji the other way. Nate Hancock drives the lane, puts it up. The basket is going to be good, and he's fouled by Jamie Gilbert. So Jamie Gilbert picks up his second personal foul. 13-12 the score now. Bemidji leading Grand Rapids. Be just one shot after the shot was good by Nate Hancock. Hancock, 6'4", senior center. Misses everything here in air ball. Well, he didn't average 23 points a game by shooting free throws like that during the season, but was able to put that one as an air ball. In the corner for Grand Rapids is Engesser. Now in the game for the Indians is Aaron Osborne. Osborne with the basketball at the baseline. Scoring for the Indians is Engesser. Aaron Osborne in the game now for Jamie Gilbert, who picked up two quick fouls. The baseline for Bemidji is Jason Karen. Moves it outside to Christensen. Now at the baseline, putting up the shot and missing is Nate Hancock. Rapids close the board. Drzenovich gets it up court. Here comes Jeff Erickson. Erickson on the drive. He misses. The ball is knocked out of bounds, went off from Bemidji's Nate Hancock. So Grand Rapids will get the basketball back. Again, the lineup right now for Grand Rapids. Drzenovich at center. Miltich at forward along with Erickson. The guards now are Engesser and Osborne. Here's a shot just inside three-point range by Jeff Erickson. Erickson with his second basket of the game makes it 16-13. Baseline shot scoring for Bemidji is Jason Karen. (16-15). Grand Rapids leads here over Bemidji. Drzenovich drives the lane for the Indians. Off the glass, no good. Tries to get his own rebound. Miltich does get the rebound. Puts it up, and he's fouled on the play. A minute and 32 seconds to go, first quarter of play. That foul is going to go on Tony Newby. Senior forward Andy Miltich will be at the free throw line for Grand Rapids. Miltich puts up the first free throw, rolls around, no good. Again, a big crowd here. A lot of Bemidji people here tonight, as it is a nice night. No problem driving down, and I would say that we have at least 100, 150 people here from Bemidji for tonight's ball game. Miltich puts up the second shot. This one's good. Miltich on the game so far with 7 points. Probably the best crowd we've had all year for a basketball game here tonight. Shot for Newby. Newby puts it up on the rebound. No good. On the deep rebound this time is Osborne for Grand Rapids. Osborne's going to drive down. Dishes it off to Miltich. Miltich puts it up. He's fouled. The foul is going to go on Bemidji's Patrick Haugen. Haugen just into the game for Bemidji picked up a foul. A minute and 17 seconds to go. 17 seconds to go in the first quarter, and Miltich again will be at the free throw line. Andy Miltich, leading scorer in the game so far for Grand Rapids, now has 8 points for the Indians. Grand Rapids 18, Bemidji 15. Second shot is up. This one's off the front of the rim. No good. Bemidji clears the boards. Patrick Haugen with the rebound. Drops it back for Tony Newby. Newby dribbling very slowly, top of the key. Looks for somebody to pass it to. Into the corner now to Joe Burgess. They're trying to get it underneath. They finally do so. Missing the easy shot was Jason Karen. Rapids had the ball knocked away from them out of bounds, and they'll get it back. One off Bemidji player out of bounds. Inbounding for the Indians will be Jeff Erickson. He gets the ball off to Aaron Osborne. Osborne inside now to Miltich. Miltich turnaround jump shot, no good, high off the rim. Clearing the boards for Bemidji is Joe Burgess. Burgess quickly across at half court, looking for somebody to drop it inside to. Now it looks like he's going to put a shot up. He does so. High off the rim, getting the rebound for Bemidji. His own rebound was Burgess. Burgess pretty quick there for a big guy. Burgess 6'4". Looks like he goes about 190, 195 pounds for the Bemidji Lumberjacks. In dropping it off inbounds now, Chris Montbryan for Bemidji. At the top of the key, moves around to the right side. Now back to Burgess. Burgess at the free throw line, puts it up and scores just inside the free throw line. 6 points now for Joe Burgess. With the basketball for the Indians is Mark Engesser. Engesser off to Aaron Osborne, and we've got a pushing call here on Jason Karen. Rapids will have the ball out. Taking it out for the Indians will be Jeff Erickson. Erickson puts it out deep to Osborne. Three-point shot for Osborne. Off the rim, no good. Clearing the boards for Bemidji was Joe Burgess. He pushes it off the other way. That's the end of the first quarter, as we're going to have some more bleachers taken out here. After one quarter, Grand Rapids 18, Bemidji 17. We'll be back right after these messages. Scored for Bemidji to give them a 1-point lead, 19-18, starting the second quarter of play. With the basketball for the Indians now is Engesser. Engesser puts it up from about 17, off the rim, no good. Ball goes far back to half court. With it for the Indians is Engesser. Inside now to Miltich. Miltich puts it up, no good. Clearing the boards for Bemidji is Nate Hancock. Moves it off on the right side to Joe Burgess. Burgess going to put it up from three-point land and cans it. 9 points in the game. That's the first three-pointer for either team. Baseline for the Indians is Engesser. Inside now to Drzenovich. Drzenovich at the free throw line. Jump shot. Scores for Grand Rapids. 6 points for Mike Drzenovich. Bemidji leads at 22-20 as we've just started the second quarter of play. Chris Montbryan with the basketball. Moves it off now to Patrick Haugen. Baseline, jump shot, off the rim, no good by Joe Burgess. The rebound is rejected as Jason Karen had the ball rejected by Drzenovich. Coming the other way was Miltich. We had a stuff shot here by Drzenovich, but no good. Foul was called on the play. Drzenovich came in, put the rebound in, but that will not count. Miltich was fouled on the play. Looks like the foul is going to go on Patrick Haugen. Excuse me, Montbryan. Chris Montbryan is the man the referees called a foul on, 13 instead of 14. Miltich at the free throw line for the Indians. Puts the first shot up, it's good. 9 points on the evening now for Andy Miltich. Second shot forthcoming. Miltich ties the score at 22 as he makes the second free throw. Rapids and Bemidji, a good ball game here at the Grand Rapids Senior High Gym, all tied up at 22-22. Inside as the ball goes up, and I believe it's going to go to Nate Hancock. Hancock tipped it. Hancock was the last man to tip the ball, and it went in. Gilbert scores from the free throw line for Grand Rapids. At the free throw line, driving in and scoring is Chris Montbryan. 4 points in the night now for Bemidji's Montbryan. Gilbert with the basketball. Top of the key. Jamie Gilbert dribbling around now on the left side. Rapids trying to set a play up here to get it to Miltich. Now to Drzenovic at the free throw line. Drzenovic with the drive. Puts it up from about 12 and scores. Mike Drzenovic, 8 points on the evening now for the Indians. 6'7" center Mike Drzenovic. 26-26. Bemidji and Grand Rapids. Here's a shot off the glass by Nate Hancock. We've got a big collision on the rebound, and we've got a foul call here. Foul is going to be on Joe Burgess. Bemidji wants a timeout. The game's all tied up, 26-26. Bemidji and Grand Rapids. Boys basketball, 5.5 minutes to go, first half. We'll be back after these messages. Half of play, Grand Rapids and Bemidji. Remember, the Indians took one on the chin from Bemidji up there back on January 3rd by a score of 85-73. And they're playing a heck of a good ball game here tonight so far. We've got a foul on the inbounds. Foul is going to be called on Mark Engesser of Grand Rapids. That's Engesser's first foul. Bemidji again will get the ball out of bounds under the Rapids basket. Nate Hancock will inbound the basketball. Gets it in now to Chris Montbryan. Turnaround jump shot here by Nate Hancock. No good. And a foul on the play. This time Andy Miltich is going to pick up the foul. First personal foul here on Andy Miltich. At the free throw line will be Nate Hancock. Hancock on the evening so far with 8 points. Hancock, a 6'4" forward, makes the first free throw. Second free throw forthcoming. This one rolls around, no good. Rapids clears the boards. Engesser with the rebound. Mark Engesser down the right side for Grand Rapids. Behind the back dribble. Drops it off now to Jamie Gilbert. Moves it inside to Drzenovic. Back at the corner here to Engesser. The ball's knocked away. Coming down the other way with it is Chris Montbryan. Montbryan at the free throw line. Pulls back. Gets it off now to Tony Newby. Newby on the right side. Moves it inside. The ball stolen away by Andy Miltich of Grand Rapids. Miltich off to Gilbert. Gilbert on the left side to Engesser. Engesser puts it up, no good. Off the rim on the rebound is Nate Hancock for Bemidji. Rapids with a good chance here. The ball rolled high off the rim. Three-point land is Tony Newby. Moves around to the right side for Bemidji. Tries to get it inside. Drops it off now to Jamie Kester. Kester loses control of it. Gets it back now to Tony Newby. Driving inside for the shot for Bemidji and scoring is Chris Montbryan. 6 points on the night for Montbryan. We've got a foul called here on Bemidji, on Montbryan. Second personal foul on Chris Montbryan. The Indians again will inbounds it. Inbounding it for the Indians will be Jeff Erickson. He gets it in now to Jamie Gilbert. Gilbert being pressured here by Chris Montbryan. Quickly over the half-court marker. Gilbert into the corner, drops it off to Engesser. Engesser on the other side to Miltich. Inside to Erickson. Erickson scores from about 10 feet out. 6 points on the evening now for Jeff Erickson. Bemidji leads it by 1, 29-28. 4 minutes to go. First half of play. It's going to be 3 seconds here pretty quick, I think. Now they're calling a jump ball situation. They were in the lane for a long time there. On the alternating possession, it is Grand Rapids basketball. So all's well that turns out well, and Grand Rapids does get the basketball back. With it for the Indians is Mark Engesser. Engesser drives in. Ball goes off from a Bemidji hand. Now with it for Grand Rapids is Jamie Gilbert. Gilbert out at the top of the key. He's going to drive. Has the ball knocked away from him. Bemidji grabs it. They're going to come back the other way with it. Joe Burgess moves in for the shot. And a nice move by Burgess. Burgess scores for Bemidji. Burgess with 11 points on the evening so far for the Bemidji Lumberjacks. We said Burgess about 6'4", 190, 200 pounds right in that area. Jamie Gilbert with the basketball. Way out deep now is Engesser. Puts it up from three-point land, and he cans it. The first three-pointer of the evening for Grand Rapids is Engesser cans it. 31-31. Grand Rapids and Bemidji all knotted up. This game's gone back and forth all night. Inside for Bemidji. The ball goes high off the rim. No good on a shot by Nate Hancock. Went off from a Bemidji player, and Rapids will get the ball back. Substitution for Bemidji, number 14, Patrick Haugen. Number 32, Eric Christensen into the ball game. Rapids inbounds it. With it for the Indians is Mark Engesser. Behind the back dribble. Engesser again behind the back. Drops it off to Jamie Gilbert. Gilbert moves to the right side. Looks inside. Nobody there. Drops it back to Erickson. Back to Gilbert. Now inside to Drzenovic. Drzenovic on the turnaround. Puts it up from about 10 off the rim. No good. Just barely ticked the rim. Dropped off the netting. No good for Drzenovic. 2.5 minutes to go first half. 31-31, Grand Rapids and Bemidji. Here's a three-point attempt for Bemidji. High off the rim by Tony Newby. No good. Rapids clears the boards. And we've got a foul in the backcourt going to be called on Patrick Haugen. That'll be the second personal here on Patrick Haugen. At the free throw line for the Indians will be Andy Miltich. 10 points on the evening so far for Milt. Puts the first free throw up and scores. Gives Grand Rapids a 1-point lead at 32-31. 2:25 to go in the first half. Second free throw by Miltich, high off the rim, no good. Rapids battles for the rebound. They get it. Erickson puts it back up and scores. Jeff Erickson. 8 points on the night now for Erickson. Big play on the rebound. Gives Grand Rapids a 3-point lead at 34-31. Bemidji on the right side. Tony Newby inside to Nate Hancock. Hancock scores from right underneath the basket. 11 points now for Nate Hancock on the evening. Baseline for Grand Rapids. Engesser puts it up. Off the rim, no good. Drzenovic off his hand to Miltich. And Drzenovic scoring on the rebound off the shot by Miltich. 10 points now for Big Mike Drzenovic, a 6'7" center for Grand Rapids. 36-33, the Indians' 3-point lead. Back and forth here between Tony Newby and Patrick Haugen. Underneath, traveling called on Nate Hancock, so no basket on the play. Bemidji's Nate Hancock travels with the basketball. Substitution for Bemidji. Number 13, Chris Montbryan back in the ball game. And also back in there is Burgess, Joe Burgess. Rapids with the basketball. Jamie Gilbert over the half-court marker behind the back. At the free throw line is Gilbert. He's going to put it up, and he's fouled. Tough foul there as Joe Burgess knocked Gilbert down through the hard court. Second personal foul here on Joe Burgess. Burgess wanting to make sure that Gilbert did not score on the play. Gilbert's okay. He's at the free throw line. Gilbert on the game so far with 1 basket for 2 points. Makes the free throw. Rapids with a 4-point lead, 37-33. Second free throw is also good. 5-point lead for Grand Rapids. I believe that's the biggest lead of the ball game so far for either team here. That should have been traveling, and it is called here as Joe Burgess had trouble controlling the basketball. He's called for traveling. The Indians will get the basketball back. Inbounding it for Grand Rapids will be Jeff Erickson to Jamie Gilbert. Gilbert behind the back dribble. Up the court now to Erickson. Erickson at the baseline drops it back off to Drzenovic. At the free throw line now to Miltich, back into Drzenovic. And pushing him from behind here was Jason Carone. Second personal foul on Jason Carone. Drzenovic will be at the free throw line. The Indians with a 5-point lead, 38-33. Minute and 7 seconds to go, first half of play from the Grand Rapids Senior High gym. Drzenovic scores from the free throw line. 11 points on the evening so far for Mike Drzenovic. Gets ready for his second offering. This one's also good. The Indians by 7, 40-33. A little bit slow on the start of the clock there. Will give Rapids a little bit more chance here. We're down to a minute to go here. Rapids steals the ball. Andy Milchard with the steal. Puts it up no good from about 15. Clearing the boards for Bemidji is Joe Burgess. Here comes Burgess. Court as he went coast to coast, and we've got a battle for the rebound. Can't believe Burgess missed that one. He got a little bit too much English on the basketball. Foul is called, or was the ball knocked on the end line? It must have just been on the end line. Burgess missed a shot, then they were battling for the basketball. So Bemidji gets it back. Right underneath, the ball is knocked out of bounds again. Miltich knocks it away from Eric Christensen. Inbounding it for Bemidji will be Nate Hancock. 3-point effort for Bemidji. Scoring is Chris Montbryan. 9 points now in the game for Chris Montbryan. 40-36, Rapids by 4. At the baseline is Erickson. He drops it back for Drzenovic. Inside now to Miltich. Back to Erickson. Erickson with an easy layup for Grand Rapids and a nice passing play. 10 points for Jeff Erickson. 20 seconds to go, first half of play. Bemidji trying to get a good shot here. They're trying to set it up for one good shot before the end of the first half, as they're trailing here by 6. 3-point effort for Bemidji. Scoring for Bemidji is Eric Christensen on the three-pointer. Long shot for Grand Rapids there by Engesser. No good at the end of the first half. Grand Rapids leading 42-39. A 3-point lead at halftime for the Indians over Bemidji. We'll be back with our halftime statistics right after these messages.
We have Forest Lake Elementary School and Riverdale Elementary School on the floor right now.
Well, we've got the little guys out here playing now. Back here at the Grand Rapids Senior High Gym at halftime, it's Grand Rapids 42 and Bemidji 39. Good basketball game tonight here at the Grand Rapids Senior High Gym. Let's take a look at what's happening in Iron Range Conference. Tom Shadeen back here at the Grand Rapids Senior High Gym. One of the biggest crowds we've had on hand here in a long time at the Rapids Senior High Gym for a regular season basketball game. As we said, 100 or 200 people from Bemidji coming down on a nice evening to drive down to Grand Rapids, only 60 miles for the game, and it's been a good basketball game here between these two teams. We mentioned Grand Rapids lost up at Bemidji back on January 3rd by a score of 85-73 to the Bemidji Lumberjacks. Rapids playing a fine game here tonight against Bemidji. If you're wondering where the refs are from tonight, word is from down below. One's from Virginia and one's from Hermantown. We haven't really had too many controversies so far, not a real lot of fouls on either team. Nobody has more than 2 fouls in the game so far, so as far as anybody starting the second half in foul trouble, unless they picked up a quick one to start the second half, nobody's really in any foul trouble here tonight in this one. For those of you that may have joined us a little bit late, Grand Rapids 12 wins and 5 losses coming into this basketball game, and Bemidji 8 wins and 7 losses coming into the contest. As the PA is reminding us that tomorrow it'll be Grand Rapids playing Brainerd in girls basketball. That one tomorrow is going to get going, B squad at 1 and the A squad at about 2:30 or 2:45 in tomorrow's game. Just about ready to get going with our second half of action. Rapids with the basketball. Jamie Gilbert at half court with it. Gilbert over on the right side for the Indians. Tries to get it inside to Drzenovic. The ball stolen by Tony Newby. Newby inside. Scoring for Bemidji is Nate Hancock. So Bemidji with a quick basket. They're down by just 1 here now. 42-41. Drzenovic with about a 10-footer. Jump shot for the Indians. Scores. 14 points on the evening so far for Mike Drzenovich for the Indians. Right side for Bemidji is Tony Newby. Here's a three-point effort off the rim, no good. Bemidji clears the boards. They put it back up. It's blocked, but they get the rebound also as Joe Burgess scores for Bemidji. 13 on the night for Joe Burgess. Back and forth ball game. Rapids 44, Bemidji 43. Mike Drzenovich with the basketball. Drzenovich dishes it back out. At the free throw line is Anguser. Inside now to Erickson. Erickson off the rim, no good. Milchich with the rebound. The ball is on the end line, and Bemidji will get the ball back. Looked like Milchich was pushed there, but no call, and Bemidji will get the ball back. With it for Bemidji is Tony Newby. Newby at half court. Moves to the right side. Now at the free throw line is Nate Hancock. Hancock with a jump shot off the rim, no good. With the rebound for Bemidji is Chris Montbryan. Montbryan moves back in. Shot is short. The rebound for Grand Rapids by Anguser. The ball is knocked out of bounds by Bemidji as both Joe Burgess and Chris Montbryan out of bounds there, and Grand Rapids will get the ball back. With it for the Indians is Jeff Erickson. Off to Anguser. Mark Anguser back to Erickson. Erickson across the timeline at half court to Jamie Gilbert. Gilbert dribbling, has the ball taken away from him by Bemidji's Nate Hancock. Here comes Hancock dribbling in, and we've got a foul called on Jamie Gilbert of Grand Rapids. So Jamie Gilbert picks up his third personal foul as we're 6 minutes and 19 seconds remaining third quarter of play. Grand Rapids 44, Bemidji 43. Bemidji will inbound underneath the Grand Rapids basket. With it for Bemidji is Nate Hancock. Here's a three-point effort for Bemidji. No good by Joe Burgess. Drzenovich clears the boards for the Indians. Up the right side to Erickson. Erickson drives in and scores for Grand Rapids. Jeff Erickson. 12 points on the night for Erickson. At the half-court marker is Chris Montbryan. Bounce pass to Nate Hancock. Hancock inside, throws it off from the rim. He was trying to hit Joe Burgess on the fly there for the alley-oop. Couldn't do it. The ball went off the rim. Free throw line, Jamie Gilbert for Grand Rapids, high off the rim, no good. The ball goes off from a Rapids player, and Bemidji will get the ball back. It went off from Mark Anguser before it went out of bounds. With it for Bemidji is Tony Newby. Newby at the free throw line. Gets it off now to Nate Hancock. The ball's rejected there by Erickson. Goes back outside. Here's a three-point effort short by Chris Montbryan. A long pass from Erickson, from Anguser, and Erickson scores. 14 points now for Jeff Erickson. 48-43, the Indians by 5. Bemidji with the basketball. They move it inside. Here's a nice pass, and the shot is made by Joe Burgess. 15 points on the night for Joe Burgess. Rapids having trouble with the basketball. We're going to have a jump ball situation. The ball will belong to Bemidji on the alternating possession. 48-45, Grand Rapids by 3. Just under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter of play from the Grand Rapids Senior High Gym. Tom Shadeen with you tonight, along with our technicians, Lee Fromm and Rick Moen. Underneath, there's a layup by Joe Burgess. 17 now for Burgess. If that one hadn't gone down, we may have seen a goaltending call as Drzenovich had his hand in the hoop. Bemidji steals the ball. Here comes Burgess coast to coast and scores again. 19 for Joe Burgess. 1 point lead for Bemidji, 49-48. Drzenovich has the ball knocked away from him. We're going to have a foul called here on number 5, Jamie Kester. Kester fouls Drzenovich. And we've got a timeout called here. Grand Rapids calls timeout. It's Bemidji 49, Grand Rapids 48. 4:21 to go, third quarter of play. We'll be back with more right after these messages. Sitting back here at the Grand Rapids Senior High Gym, where the Indians trail by 1 now. Bemidji 49, Grand Rapids 48. As Grand Rapids was the one that took the timeout here. The Indians will inbound underneath the Bemidji basket. Inbounding it for Grand Rapids will be Jeff Erickson. Off to Mike Drzenovich, to Jamie Gilbert. Gilbert inside now, tried to hit Drzenovich, but that's broken up here by Nate Hancock. Hancock steals the basketball, gets it off to Tony Newby. Inside now to Hancock, and Hancock scores. 15 points now for Nate Hancock. 51-48, three-point lead for Bemidji. Just under 4 minutes to go, third quarter of play. Jamie Gilbert dribbling around now left side, back to the top of the key to Drzenovich. Drzenovich moves it to the right side now to Jeff Erickson. Erickson at the baseline, puts it up from about 12, misses. Clearing the boards was Jason Carone. He gets it off now to Joe Burgess. Burgess inside to Nate Hancock. Turnaround jump shot, no good. Air ball, Rapid clears the boards. Here comes Jamie Gilbert. Gilbert into the corner now to Engesser, and Engesser's shot was partially blocked, and we've got a foul on the rebound. Miltich and Jason Carone. Miltich will get the foul. They could have probably given the foul to either one of them there on that collision. Nobody really had fault, but the referee, seeing two players down, has to make the call and calls it on Andy Miltich. Miltich's second personal foul of the ball game. Bemidji with the basketball, Tony Newby. Drops it back to Joe Burgess, three-pointer, no good. On the rebound, putting it back up is Nate Hancock, that's also no good. Drzenovich with the rebound for Grand Rapids, has trouble controlling the dribble. They're down on the floor, coming up with the easy basket, traveling. Nate Hancock traveled. He was all by himself under the basket, and he traveled with the basketball. All Hancock had to do was take one dribble, and he had an easy layup. He didn't do so, and the referee called him for traveling. Three-point Bemidji lead, 51-48. Three-pointer here for Grand Rapids off the side of the glass by Engesser. Miltich was going to put it up on the reverse layup, but traveled with the basketball. Referee calls Miltich for traveling. Substitution for the Indians. Darren Cook will come into the ball game. Also Eric Christensen for Bemidji. So Darren Cook replaces Miltich. Miltich will take a little bit of a rest. At half court with the basketball is Tony Newby. Taking his time, going to drive in now. Newby off the glass, no good. Rebound for Bemidji. Putting it up was Christensen, he misses. Clearing the boards for the Indians was Darren Cook to Gilbert. A bounce pass to Erickson. Erickson off the glass, no good. The ball's knocked out of bounds. Knocking it out of bounds was Mark Engesser, so Bemidji will get it back. A nice bounce pass here from Jamie Gilbert inside to Erickson, but Erickson missed on the short shot from underneath. Bemidji gets it back. 2 minutes, 20 seconds to go, third quarter of play. Bemidji 51, Grand Rapids 48. With it for Bemidji is Nate Hancock. Hancock travels with the basketball, and Grand Rapids will get it back. Inbounding it for the Indians will be Jeff Erickson. Gets it into Mark Engesser. Engesser down the left side. Inside now to Drzenovich. Drzenovich is pushed from behind. Looks like it's going to be number 4, Jason Carone.
Ball's on Carone. No basket.
Third personal on Jason Carone. Inbounds to Drzenovich. Free throw line jump shot, no good. Rapids battling for the rebound. Erickson puts it up, rejected. The ball's knocked around a couple times. Here's Engesser off to Erickson. Drops it to Darren Cook. Cook cans it. Cook from about 10 for Grand Rapids. First basket of the game for Darren Cook, just into the ball game. Rapids trails by 1, 51-50. Bemidji knocks the ball around. We'll have to see what the call is going to be here. Going to give it back to Bemidji, saying it went off a Rapids player before going out of bounds. Inbounding it for Bemidji is Nate Hancock. Three-point effort by Christensen, high off the rim, no good. We've got a foul on the rebound. Eric Christensen put the shot up from three-point land. He missed, and we've got a foul on the rebound. That's 4 personal fouls now on Jason Carone. He's going to come out of the ball game. He'll be replaced by Jamie Kester. Kester, a little bit, well, I guess they're just about the same height. Thought he might be a little bit taller looking at him, but the program says no. It says they're both 6'5". Drzenovich with the ball, drops it off to Gilbert. Cook at the free throw line. Off the glass, no good. Rebound to Bemidji to Eric Christensen. He gets the ball back to Tony Newby. Newby out in three-point land. That's a free throw line now to Hancock. Hancock off the glass, no good. Rapids with the rebound. Here's Engesser. Mark Engesser down the court. Three-point shot from Engesser. He cans it. 8 points for Engesser. That's his second three-pointer of the evening. Rapids 53, Bemidji 51. We're under a minute to go in the third quarter. Bemidji trying to get the ball inside to Nate Hancock. Back outside, three-point shot. In and out here by Patrick Haugen. Rapids clears the boards. Gilbert off left side to Engesser. Engesser pulls up from about 12 off the glass, no good. Rebound by Darren Cook, and Cook scores his second basket of the game on the rebound. 55-51 on the rebound shot by Darren Cook. Half a minute to go, third quarter. Rapids by 55-51, 4-point lead. Bemidji tries to get it inside. The ball is knocked out of bounds. Bemidji will get it back. Wild one here tonight from the Grand Rapids Senior High Gym. As we said, a big crowd. Got the band, the pom-pom girls. We've got just about everything going on up here tonight at the Grand Rapids Senior High Gym. Deep out to Chris Montbryan. Looks like Bemidji's going to go for the one shot to end the third quarter. Left side to Christensen, back to Patrick Haugen, back to Christensen. 8 seconds on the clock now. At the baseline is Joe Burgess, puts it up, no good. The rebound by Christensen. Christensen scores after three quarters. Grand Rapids 55, Bemidji 53. The Indians with a 2-point lead after three quarters. We'll be back with the fourth quarter right after these messages. Here at the Grand Rapids Senior High Gym, all ready for the fourth quarter of play, as Grand Rapids leads it by 55-53 after three quarters of play. Good basketball game. As we mentioned at the start, Grand Rapids comes in 12 wins and 5 losses. Bemidji 8 wins and 7 losses, but these two teams had a wild game up at Bemidji back on January 3rd. Rapids lost by 85-73 in that one. But Grand Rapids giving Bemidji all they can handle here tonight on their home floor. And, of course, I'm sure the crowd has something to do with that. A big crowd on hand and a lot of noise rooting for Grand Rapids. Erickson inbounds it to Jamie Gilbert as the fourth quarter is underway. Gilbert has the ball knocked away from him by Patrick Haugen. The Indians will retain possession. Inbounding it for Grand Rapids will be Jeff Erickson. Gets it into Andy Miltich. Miltich in the left corner, drops it back. Gilbert saves it from the over and back. Three-point shot by Engesser. High off from the glass, no good. Hit the rim, hit the glass, went out of bounds. Rapids still by 2 points, 55-53, just starting the fourth quarter of play. Grand Rapids in the black, Bemidji in the white, if you just joined us. At the top of the key for Bemidji is Patrick Haugen. Drops it off to Chris Montbryan. Montbryan inside now to Christensen. And Eric Christensen cans it for Bemidji. Christensen has 7. Baseline shot for Grand Rapids by Jeff Erickson, no good. And we've got a foul on the play. Looks like the foul is going to go on Eric Christensen. Score all knotted up at 55-55. Free throw for Grand Rapids by Erickson is good. That was the first personal foul on Eric Christensen. The second free throw no good. Rapids holds on to a slim 1-point lead, 56-55. At the free throw line for Bemidji, and traveling was Joe Burgess. The Rapids will get the basketball back. 7:10 to go, fourth quarter. The Indians with a 1-point, 56-55 lead. Mark Engesser drops it off to Drzenovic. Inside to Miltich, back to Drzenovic. Top of the key to Jamie Gilbert. And it's good, a two-pointer just inside three-point land by Jamie Gilbert. 58-55, three-point lead for Grand Rapids. Off the foot of the Bemidji player, with it for Grand Rapids is Engesser. Engesser at half court. Into the right side now to Erickson. Erickson from about 14, no good. Clearing the boards and carrying the basketball here is Joe. Joe Burgess. So Rapids is going to get it back. Going to have a substitution here for Bemidji. Coming back into the game will be Nate Hancock. Hancock will replace Mike Christensen, Eric Christensen, excuse me. And Tony Newby will replace Patrick Haugen. Erickson inbounds to Engesser for Grand Rapids. Engesser to Jamie Gilbert. Gilbert high on the right side now. Moves it into Drzenovich. Back to Gilbert. Back to Miltich on the left side at the baseline to Engesser, to Erickson, excuse me. Erickson misses, and clearing the boards is Joe Burgess. Chris Montbryan with the basketball at the baseline. It's knocked away. With it for Grand Rapids is Erickson. Off to Gilbert. Gilbert heads for the hoop. He's fouled from behind. Foul will be called on Joe Burgess. Third personal foul here on Joe Burgess. At the free throw line for Grand Rapids will be Jamie Gilbert. The Indians are leading 58 to 55, 3-point lead over Bemidji. At the free throw line will be Jamie Gilbert. Gilbert 6 points on the evening so far for Grand Rapids. Puts the free throw up, rolls around and goes down. At the free throw line, Gilbert will get his second chance. This one is also good. So the Indians now 60 to 55. 5-point lead. That's the biggest lead they've had in the game. Here's a foul. As coming in was Joe Burgess. Drzenovich had to foul him, and of course, Drzenovich had no fouls in the game up to this point, so good point to use one. Burgess was headed to the hoop. Drzenovich fouled him. 6'4" forward Joe Burgess at the free throw line for Bemidji. Free throw's good. $20 points on the night now for Joe Burgess. They want a towel out on the floor. No, they're not throwing in the towel. They're only down by 4. They're just going to clean up the floor here. Water down near the edge of the court. Well, the ref did throw in the towel, but looks like he's going to stay for the game. 4-point lead, 60 to 56 here for Grand Rapids. 6:03 to go, fourth quarter. Burgess at the free throw line misses. Clearing the boards for Bemidji. Missing also was Jamie Kester. Rebound for the Indians, heading the other way now. Drzenovich inside through the legs of Miltich. Burgess comes back, a nice pass as he drops it off for Chris Montbryan. Top of the key now to Tony Newby. Right side, Burgess going to drive the lane. Going to have a charging foul here on Burgess. Burgess is going to pick up foul number 4 on the charge. And if you wanted to make a training film of a charging foul, that would probably be it. How to charge. As he wiped out about 3 players coming into the lane there. Burgess, a big kid, 4 fouls now, and he's going to come out of the game. He'll be relieved by Eric Christensen, as we said. Joe Burgess with 4 fouls. He's the only player. Well, I guess there's one more for Bemidji. Jason Carone also has 4 fouls in the game. Rapids with the basketball. Mark Engesser, right side, drops it back to Jamie Gilbert. Inside to Mike Drzenovich. Drzenovich to three-point land to Engesser, back to Drzenovich. Gilbert, top of the key, puts it up, scores. 2-pointer just inside the three-point line was Gilbert. 10 points now for Jamie Gilbert. 62 to 56, a 6-point lead. Biggest lead of the game for Grand Rapids. Top of the key, Tony Newby. He puts it up from the right side, no good. Goes off from the rim, goes out of bounds. Rapids will get the basketball back. Some discussion there as to whether it went off for a Rapids player or not, but the referee says no. Rapids gets it back. 5 minutes to go. Fourth quarter of play. 62-56, 6-point lead. Inside turnaround jump shot by Erickson from about 5. Jeff Erickson scores. 17 now for Jeff Erickson. 4:51 to go. Rapids leads at 64-56. Their first 8-point lead of the ball game. Bemidji calls timeout. We'll be back with more right after these. Riverview was in the red and Forest Lake was in the green. At halftime, Riverview wins it 7-3 over Forest Lake. Rapids band trying to fire up the Rapids players. Leading the band tonight is Mark Sager, the assistant director. Drzenovic steals the ball as it went off from the hands of Nate Hancock. Drzenovic moves down the other way for Rapids. Top of the key to Jamie Gilbert. Back in the corner to Jeff Erickson. Traveling called here on Jeff Erickson. 4:28 to go, fourth quarter of play. Rapids 64, Bemidji 56, and a good ball game here at the Grand Rapids Senior High Gym. Good crowd on hand. A lot of Bemidji people also. At the free throw line is Tony Newby. Underneath to Eric Christensen. The ball is knocked away from Christensen, but double dribble on Grand Rapids called on Mark Engesser. Inbounding for Bemidji will be Nate Hancock. To Tony Newby, off from the glass, no good. They tried to tip it in on the rebound. Nate Hancock tried to tip it up there. The ball finally out of bounds off from the hands of Hancock, and Rapids will get it back. Jamie Gilbert, right side for Grand Rapids at the baseline, dribbles the baseline, and looks like he was right on the baseline there. He's called for being out of bounds, and Bemidji will get the ball back. 4:05 to go, fourth quarter of play. 64-56. Rapids with the 8-point lead. Tony Newby on the right side. Dribbling around, looking for somebody to pass it to, gets it inside. Putting it up and missing was Nate Hancock. We've got a battle on the rebound. Mike Drzenovic and Eric Christensen battling for the rebound. And the foul is called on Mike Drzenovic. Second personal foul on Mike Drzenovic. Bemidji will inbound underneath the Grand Rapids basket. Inbounding it will be Nate Hancock. Hancock moves it inside now to Burgess. The ball goes way up in the air, knocked away by Drzenovic. Gets it off to Engesser now. Engesser dribbling around in the backcourt with the basketball, trying to clear himself. He finally does so. Gets it over to Jamie Gilbert. Gilbert, a three-pointer. He cans it. First three-pointer of the night for Jamie Gilbert. 13 points on the night for Jamie Gilbert. Rapids with an 11-point lead, 67-56. 3:21 to go. Inside for Bemidji to Nate Hancock, and Hancock is fouled. The foul will be on Mike Drzenovic. Third foul on Drzenovic. We're going to have a timeout here. Looks like it's going to be Grand Rapids calling the timeout this time. Yes, it is. The Indians lead at 67-56. 3:18 to go. We'll be back with the last few. Senior High Gym. A wild one here tonight. Grand Rapids now leads it by 11. Was close throughout. Had a 1-point lead at the first quarter, a 1-point lead at the half for Grand Rapids. The Indians then led by 2 after 3 quarters, but now they've built that lead to 11 points. Bemidji's at the free throw line. Nate Hancock at the line for Bemidji. Free throw rolls off, no good. Hancock on the evening has 15 points for Bemidji. 6'4" forwards, averaging 23 on the year. Second one's also no good. So Bemidji not helping themselves from the free throw line. Engesser with the rebound. Back to Gilbert. Stealing the basketball is Tony Newby. Newby gets it up to Nate Hancock. Hancock off from the rim, no good. And again, it's going to be a charging call. Nate Hancock is called for charging. So Nate Hancock and Joe Burgess have both been called for charging. And the Bemidji coaches are livid on the sideline, as you can see. Mel Johnson, the man standing up there as the head coach. His assistant down to the left was Kurt Keitzer and also Dave Dahlberg. They were giving the refs a piece of their mind. Okay, Coach Johnson now back on the bench. Rapids inbounds it. The ball is tipped by Joe Burgess, but Rapids gets it back as Mark Engesser with the basketball for the Indians. Under 3 minutes to go. Rapids by 11, 67-56. I don't think Rapids going to be in too much of a hurry now. They'll let the clock dwindle. Inside to Miltich. He scores all by himself. Andy Miltich. 13 for Miltich. Three-pointer put up by Bemidji. No good by Nate Hancock. Excuse me, by Tony Newby. We've got a foul in the backcourt. Drazenovich was in the backcourt with the basketball, and he's fouled by Nate Hancock. Second personal foul on Nate Hancock. Mike Drazenovich will go to the line for Grand Rapids. Drazenovich in the game with 14 points for the Indians. 6'7" center puts it up. Off the rim, no good. Rapids clears the boards. Here's Mark Engesser. Dribbling around out in three-point land on the right side now to Jamie Gilbert. Of course, the Indians are not going to be in a hurry here. They've got the lead and they've got the basketball. They'll make Bemidji come out and chase them here for a while. Gilbert with the basketball. Out near half court behind the back dribble. 2:15 to go. Off to Engesser. The ball is knocked out of bounds. Referee is going to give the ball back to Grand Rapids. Coming into the game, Chris Montbryan replaces Jamie Kester, so Bemidji going for a little quicker lineup here now. Inbounding it for Grand Rapids will be Erickson. Gets it off to Miltich. Miltich dribbling around with the basketball, and he's called for traveling. Went off from the chest of Miltich, and he's called for traveling. 2:09 to go. Rapids up by 69-56. 13-point lead here for Grand Rapids. Inside for Bemidji, putting it up and missing was Joe Burgess. And I think that might be foul number 5 here on Burgess. And Burgess fouls out of the ball game with 2:05 to go. Third charging foul here called on Bemidji. Burgess picked up 2, and Nate Hancock picked up 1. And to tell you the truth, I have to agree with the referee, because what the Bemidji players are doing is they're leaning forward as they're driving for the basket. And the Rapids players are pretty much just standing there, and as the Bemidji player crashes into them, they're getting the call for charging. So no argument from up here. Bemidji's big and rough. Ball is knocked out of bounds. Rapids gets it back. Inbounding it will be Jeff Erickson. Erickson to Jamie Gilbert. Drops it back. Chris Montbryan now stealing it back is Erickson. Erickson off to Engesser. Under 2 minutes to go. At the baseline is Miltich. Miltich scores for the Indians. Miltich has 15 now for Grand Rapids. Newby inside now to Hancock. Hancock is fouled. Mike Drazenovich, I believe, will pick up the foul here. Yes, he will. That's 4 personal fouls on Mike Drazenovich, all coming in the second half. Luckily, Drazenovich did not have any fouls in the first half, so been able to pick up a few without fouling out here in the second half of the ball game. 1 minute and 39 seconds to go. Rapids 71, Bemidji 56. Rapids by 15 points. At the free throw line for Bemidji will be Nate Hancock. Hancock cans it from the free throw line. "17 points now for Nate Hancock. 6'4" senior forward. Make it 18. Jamie Gilbert down the right side for Rapids. 1.5 to go. Off the glass for Engesser. 10 points now for Mark Engesser. Rapids with balanced scoring tonight. I believe they've got 5 players in double figures now. Three-pointer here for Bemidji by Christensen. Eric Christensen, second three-pointer of the game. He has 10 points now for Bemidji. We've got a foul here on the inbound. It's going to be called on Chris Montbryan. Third personal foul on Chris Montbryan. Mark Engesser at the free throw line. As we said, he has 10 points in the game so far. Makes it 11. Rapids with all 5 starters now in double figures. Of course, that's the type of scoring balance you like to see. Second free throw is also good by Engesser. Minute and 12 to go. Chris Montbryan with the basketball. Three-pointer attempt by Christensen, no good. Rebound for Grand Rapids by Jamie Gilbert. We're going to have a foul. I believe they called it on Chris Montbryan. That's the 4th personal foul here on Chris Montbryan. Jamie Gilbert at the free throw line. Gilbert has 13 points in the game so far for Grand Rapids. Gilbert, senior guard, cans it. Makes it 14. Rapids 76. Bemidji 61. And the second one rolls around and goes down also for Gilbert. 77-61. We've got a minute to go in the basketball game here from the Grand Rapids Senior High Gym. Three-point attempt by Chris Montbryan is good. 12 points for Montbryan, and I believe he has just fouled out of the basketball game. Chris Montbryan, with 51 seconds remaining, has fouled out. Coming into the game for Bemidji will be number 45, Andy Brown. Brown, a 6'1" senior forward, will replace Chris Montbryan. Montbryan leads the game with 12 points for the Bemidji Lumberjacks. Mark Engesser at the free throw line for the Indians. 12 points on the night for Engesser. Misses the free throw. Andy Brown with the rebound. Underneath now, putting it up and scoring, is Nate Hancock. 19 now for Hancock, and we've got a foul on Bemidji. This foul will go on Nate Hancock. Third personal foul on Nate Hancock at the free throw line will be Mark Engesser. 77-66, the Indians with an 11-point lead. Engesser puts up the free throw and scores. .13 now for Mark Engesser. Second free throw forthcoming, no good, off the rim. With the rebound is Nate Hancock for Bemidji. Ball knocked away by Drzenovic. Getting it back for Bemidji was Patrick Haugen. Drzenovic now to Miltic. Miltic puts it up, no good. Drzenovic puts the rebound up and scores. Drzenovic makes it 80-66. There's just 10 seconds to go. Behind the back pass to Gilbert. Knocked out of bounds here by Bemidji's Patrick Haugen. So Grand Rapids leads it by 14, 80-66. Just 7 seconds to go. Inbounding it will be Erickson. Gilbert over to Engesser. Three-point shot at the buzzer, no good for Engesser. Rapids wins it 80-66. So the Indians with a big victory on their home floor tonight, 80-66 over Bemidji. I'll be back with the final scoring right after these quarter scores in the game. Rapids led after one, 18-17. At halftime, it was Grand Rapids 32, Bemidji 31. After three quarters, it was Grand Rapids 55 and Bemidji 53. And the final score, Grand Rapids 80 and Bemidji 66. Take a look at the Grand Rapids scoring first here. For the Indians, Jamie Gilbert with 15 points on the evening. He had 3 personal fouls. Mark Engesser with 13 points. He had 1 personal. Mike Drzenovic with 16 points. He had 4 personal fouls. Jeff Erickson with 17 points. He had 1 personal. And Andy Miltic with 15 points. He had 2 personals, so all 5 starters in double figures for Grand Rapids. Darren Cook, coming off the bench, picked up 4 points, did not have a personal foul. Aaron Osborne also saw action for Grand Rapids in the first half, did not score. In the B squad, Grand Rapids lost to Bemidji by 59 to 49. 10-point loss for Grand Rapids in that one. I'm going to have to take a minute here to add up the Bemidji scoring, so we'll take a quick break. I'll add up the Bemidji scoring here, and we'll be right back here at the Grand Rapids Senior High Gym right after these quick messages here. As we get our technicians going here, they were ready to take off. They were heading down for one of the local pubs, but we got them back to work here. Rapids wins at 80-66 over Bemidji. I'll be back to take a look at the Bemidji scoring right after these messages.
5